Fuck it up. Fuck it up.
Alright, so in today's video we're going over the Frost Vortex build, and I made a couple of videos showcasing it, but I never really showed my build up until now because I really didn't have like a complete build. I wouldn't say my build is completely done, but for the most part I have just about everything that I would look for. It's just I would have to touch things up, like better mods or like maybe switch around the gears a little bit. I'm not too sure. It's just I'm not giving up on it. I'm just done with the build entirely. I've played against people with the build. I've myself played with the build. I've talked to people who are playing the build and messing around with it. And to start off, I'm gonna just say I do not recommend using this build in the current state of the game. For PvP purposes, this build is not really that good. You might try to use it and maybe it'll work against some players with the specific gear set that I have. And if you use something like this, maybe you'll do well against a decent amount of people. But right now the game is in a very early stage, and I think as the game progresses, you'll start to see that this build really doesn't really work in PvP. In PvE, I can confidently say this build is definitely decent, but like, why would you use this build in PvE if you got other builds like the unstable bomber build, and then you have the other build, the shrapnel build? Those two are the best builds in the game for both PvE and PvP. But just in general, like, people look at other stuff and they like wonder, could these be just as good? Because if you use any type of weapon and any gear, as long as you build your combo well and get your stats properly done and all your mods and everything done properly, you can make just about anything in this game work. So if you want to rock the Frost Vortex, I don't recommend it, but if you rock it and you get your stuff upgraded well, you'll have like a fighting chance against people. But the people with the unstable bomber build will definitely outclass you. People with something like shrapnel will outclass you, and people with sniper builds, you know, they'll outclass you. It's just, this is not really the optimal build for PvP. But for PvE, I mean, shoot, do what you love, have fun with it. So for my PvE people, I suggest using this top over the top that I am using. You see right here. Do not use this top for PvE. It's not going to really that amazing. All it does is, as you can see right here, collapse in the center and keep pulling in 120% within the Frost Vortex. This basically creates a suction where it sucks everybody into like the vortex that appears around. It sucks them into the middle of it and it freezes them right there. Well, it doesn't freeze them, but like it kind of does because you can't really move. But this isn't really good because this is better. So what this does is generates ice spikes that deal frost damage of 100% PSI intensity, or psi intensity, whatever you call that. This is really freaking good. I can't really do the math for you. Just test it out yourself, or I can show you myself. So let's look at the damage right here. And you're gonna see that this damage from this build isn't really that amazing. So we're at like 15k DPS at the top, and then we're almost at 100k damage. I'm not gonna really shoot anymore. As you can see, this build, with how Frost Vortex works and this specific weapon that I'm using works. I'm using the Icy Rain, by the way. Crit hits grants 40% chance to trigger Frost Vortex. When Frost Vortex is created, auto reload 50% of the bullets. That's really nice, and that's really cool that it does that. But as you can see, if I just keep shooting, I'm gonna shoot forever because I'm just gonna keep reloading. Like as you can see, like my ammo keeps going up and I'll never reload. So we just stop it here, like stop it there early, where we peaked our DPS. Change it to this tab. Let's watch the DPS. That's a big change in damage. We went from 15k to 20k DPS. This is your better damage output. I know this is gold and it's pretty, and it looks actually nice. It's a nice top. With these tops, as you're gonna see, this one does the more DPS. As you can see, this one is just more pretty. It's better for PvP because when you use this one, you create that little circle-ish like icicle thing, and that pulls players into the middle. So you could just, you see how this dummy is just standing still? This is basically how the players would be. You could just headshot them, as you can see. So If you want to do better DPS, go with this. 5k more average DPS as you've seen that I just showed. But if you want to fight in PvP and like just cheese people, basically this is going to be a cheesy build. Freeze them. Yeah, you could use this. Armor for the Frost Vortex build, and that is the other cloak. It literally looks the same as the Stealth Walker, but the cloak, when the frozen effect ends, deal frost damage equal to 50 of the total damage you dealt to the target during the frozen period. So it's kind of similar to what this does, but this works when you're done with the frozen period. So I mean, if you want to go for this, if you want like a gold variant of this, I guess go for this. But like this is really, this purple tactical vest is really good. This is probably the best one. This could be the best one, but you're dealing frost damage equal to 50 of the total damage you dealt to the target during the frozen period. So as long as you're doing this frozen period and shooting this dummy, all that damage you're doing, once that is over, you're gonna do 50% of whatever that damage was. At least that's what I'm assuming. But so this could be really good. This is probably arguably the best one you're gonna want to go for, DPS wise, but this is also good enough. So if you don't have this, go for this. If you want to get like the gold version, don't get this, get this. This is your best DPS. How do you build this Frost build? You go for crit damage. So as you can see, I'm using triple falcon. I have the rolling stamina cost, pretty cool. That's very useful in PvP. And then you get the 12% crit damage, and then when stamina is over 90%, increase crit rate by 5% and crit damage by 20%. So when I hit those crits, and I'm gonna hit them crits because I got a lot of crit, so when I hit them crits, I'm gonna do a lot of crit damage. So I'm gonna do a big output. And then I have a double lone wolf mask set. I have the mask and the pants, so lone wolf mask and pants. I have that double set. It gives me magazine capacity and it gives me crit rate. Magazine capacity doesn't really matter because you're auto reloading all the time once you shoot people in crit. You could get a 3 set of this. 3 set's pretty decent. Don't go for 4 set. I don't recommend it. But so for the gun, we're using Icy Rain. So it works. It's synergy. It's your preference what you want to use. This is just what I like, so this is what I used. But that's pretty much it for this build. So this for PvP if you want to cheese people. What the f? Okay, anyways, that Deviant was fucking yapping. Cradle, I mean, there's not much you could do. There's only one skill for it. That skill is right here. This is the only thing in a Cradle that you're gonna want to use with Frost Vortex. I mean, this is the only thing that increases your Frost Vortex, while other builds have like multiple of these that you can use. So, I mean, it's pretty fucking simple for modifications. I mean, like, here are my mods if you guys want to see them and you want to use them. And I got pretty good rolls on my mods, as you can see. I got really good rolls. But yet, when I use this gun to fight in PvP and PvE, my damage is still lacking. So these are the mods that I am using. The only mod I would want to change is my top mod. This is the mod that I was using right here. You can get a blue crit mod and just throw it on here to make it like better. That's the only mod that I didn't have that I was finished with. But you can see all these mods are pretty dang good. And these rolls for substats are pretty dang good. So yeah guys, I'm gonna show you guys a little montage of clips of PvP that I did before I decided to switch off this build and end it right there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. And I hope you take my advice, but if you stick with the build, good luck, and just make sure you have fun because that's all that matters. So you guys have a good day. Enjoy the rest of the video.
We'll be right back. Going back to crack, crack, crack. Going back to crack. I don't think so. I'm going back to crack, crack, crack. I'm going back to crack. I don't think so. I'm going back to crack, crack, crack. I'm going back to crack. I don't think so. I'm going back to crack, crack, crack. I'm going back to crack. I don't think so. Too slow picking got a girl. Let the slow core rock your boat. You wanna shoot it on my face. Going too slow picking up the pace like. I don't think so. You wanna fuck me? Just let me close up. I'm pretty flexible. Boy, watch me hit this so tight. I and I'm pretty rock. Gotta make your eyes pop. I like that trippy top. Baby, can you feel that trippy top? I wanna taste you. I'm gonna spin it. I wanna come on top around me. My head get like oh you wanna 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 you wanna